Nuclear bomb spaceship. Imagine traveling through space by detonating nuclear bombs behind your spacecraft. It sounds completely insane, but engineers actually proposed it. The concept was called Project Orion. Instead of traditional rocket engines, the spacecraft would ride the shock waves from hundreds of small nuclear explosions. On paper, it could have carried enormous payloads across the solar system. The obvious problem was launching a nuclear-powered spacecraft from Earth. The project never flew, but it remains one of the wildest ideas ever studied. Moon buggy. Driving a car on the moon sounds like science fiction, but NASA actually did it. The lunar roving vehicle carried Apollo astronauts across the lunar surface, allowing them to travel much farther than they could on foot. Despite looking simple, it had to survive extreme temperatures and operate in low gravity. It became one of the most iconic vehicles ever used in space. Flying saucer spacecraft. This spacecraft looked so much like a UFO that people still mistake photos of it for alien technology. The M2F2 was a lifting body aircraft designed to test how astronauts could return safely from space. Instead of relying on large wings, the vehicle generated lift using its unusual shape. It looked bizarre, but its experiments helped pave the way for future spacecraft. The Soviet shuttle. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union built its own version of the space shuttle called Buran. At first glance, it looked nearly identical to the American shuttle. The surprising part is that Buran completed its first orbital mission completely unmanned and landed automatically. It was a remarkable achievement, but the program ended after just one flight. Mars helicopter. A helicopter on Mars sounds impossible because the atmosphere is incredibly thin. Yet, Ingenuity managed to do exactly that. Originally expected to make only a few flights, it far exceeded expectations and became the first aircraft to achieve powered flight on another planet. What started as an experiment became one of NASA's biggest successes. Spaceplane. Most spacecraft return to Earth under parachutes. Dream Chaser does something different. It glides down and lands on a runway like an airplane. Its unusual shape allows it to combine features of both aircraft and spacecraft. It looks futuristic, but every curve exists for a practical reason. Space truck. Not every spacecraft explores distant worlds. Some are basically delivery vehicles. The European Automated Transfer Vehicle was designed to transport supplies to the International Space Station. It could navigate and dock automatically without a crew on board. It wasn't glamorous, but it quietly kept astronauts supplied in orbit. The giant rocket. Imagine a rocket so large it would be built in a shipyard and launched from the ocean. That was Sea Dragon. Proposed in the 1960s, it would have been one of the largest rockets ever built. Engineers hoped its enormous size would dramatically reduce launch costs. Unfortunately, it never moved beyond the concept stage. The Starship. For decades, fully reusable space travel seemed impossible. Starship is attempting to change that. Unlike most rockets, both major sections are designed to return and fly again. If successful, it could dramatically reduce the cost of reaching space and help make missions to the Moon and Mars far more practical. Spacecraft are often portrayed as sleek and futuristic, but some of the strangest designs ever imagined have come from real engineers solving real problems. From nuclear-powered spaceships to helicopters flying on Mars, these machines prove that space exploration has always been a little weird.